How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is wrapping up its games under $20 sale as well as its big games, big deal sale. Chances are, following the PlayStation Showcase and, heading into the weekend, there's going to be another major sale that'll be kicking off here shortly. So, there's going to be a ton more deals. You guys know how this game is played, but want to do a final video. No restrictions as far as price goes, so let's get right into it. These are mostly a little bit on the expensive side. I mean, a lot of them are sub 20 bucks, so not that expensive, but more so than the under 10 and under 5. But let's get started with Wolfenstein Alt History Collection. This is such a good value deal. You get Wolfenstein the New Order, the Old Blood, the New Colossus, and Young Blood. Now, Young Blood isn't that great, however, New Order, Old Blood, and New Colossus are all really good. Narratively, Wolfenstein, it gets kind of wacky, but gameplay-wise, I think they're all really good games, and they actually do have a little bit of length to them being, single-player first-person shooters. You don't expect games that are super lengthy, but you're definitely getting your money's worth out of that collection. $12, I think, is a good price, and I would say give it a look. Next up, we have Soul Hackers 2, 60% off for $24. This is a game that, I definitely do have my issues with. I think the dungeon design was, at times, very questionable, and I was not a big fan of some of the dungeons. Others were totally fine. What this game has going for it is an incredibly strong story, a great cast of characters, a really good soundtrack, and solid turn-based, RPG gameplay. I think all of those elements are really strong, and if you're getting into a game for a compelling narrative, I think you're definitely going to get that out of Soul Hackers 2. Really enjoy it from a story standpoint. You're spending $24, and you're also getting, a pretty lengthy game, 45 hours, and there's, optional content that you could take part in, so there's a lot to do in the game. I think $24 is a great buy for this. Next up, we have the Skyrim Anniversary Edition and Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition bundle. This is 67% off for $26.39. Now, essentially, you're paying, what, 13 and change for both of those? Skyrim Anniversary, oftentimes when it goes on sale, it's like $16 to $18, and Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition also goes for a decent amount even when it's on sale. And Fallout 4 is going to be getting a PlayStation 5 upgrade at some point, and I don't know if there's going to be some Witcher 3 action going on. When that game's upgrade came out, it also increased its sale price. So, the MSRP is the MSRP, but Witcher 3 used to go on sale for $9.99. Now, it'll go on sale for $19.99 or like $29.99 for the Game of the Year Edition. So, just bear that in mind. Might not be a bad idea to get Fallout 4 in your library as soon as possible. So definitely do that. And, just from a game standpoint, 13 a pop for Skyrim and Fallout 4. Even though Fallout 4 does have, it was a little bit disappointing. It's still a decent game, and Skyrim's an all-time classic in my opinion. So $26.39 for that, I think, is great. Odin Sphere Leifthrasir, 75% off for $14.99. Loved Odin Sphere. What a fantastic PlayStation 2 title that has actually aged pretty well. And Leifthrasir does update the game quite a bit, completely redrawn graphics and redesigned gameplay. It's a 2D action RPG with a great soundtrack, great art style, pretty engaging from a story standpoint and character standpoint. I think for $14.99, not a bad price at all. And this is one that really does hold up in price, so the fact that it is $15, jump on that as soon as possible. It came out back in, I want to say, like 2016, and its MSRP is still $60, so, you're trying to get it at a good price. 15 is like the best that you're going to see it for. Next up, Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack, 50% off for $19.99. This includes Azure Striker Gunvolt as well as its sequel, Azure Striker Gunvolt 2, in one package. I enjoy these games. If you like the Mega Man style side-scrolling action title, these games are pretty good. Great art style to them. I think the character designs look fantastic, and the gameplay is fast-paced. The story didn't do much for me, but it's definitely there, and, you might find it more engaging than me. I think for $19.99, if you like this style of gameplay, you'll enjoy it. It's another one that has held up in price quite a bit, so is what it is. You're going to be paying a little bit of a premium to get the Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack, so there you go with that. Next up, Valkyrie Chronicles 4 Complete Edition, 75% off for $12.49. Now, this includes the DLC, which for VC4, some of it's actually kind of notable. So, you want to get the Complete Edition, and that's why getting the Valkyrie Chronicles 4 and Remastered bundle, it's a great value deal when it's available, but you don't get the DLC for VC4, which is a little bit of a bummer. But on top of the DLC, the base game is fantastic. Valkyrie Chronicles 4 is a really engaging tactical JRPG with a really good story, awesome watercolor art style that ages really well, and, you know, if you find the game too challenging, if you're not super into tactics games, there is an easier mode to it, so, you know, if you want to more so focus on the story, that option will be available to you. Lengthy game with optional content as well, and I thought the story and the characters were really engaging, so $12.49. Goodbye here as well. Next up, we have Devil May Cry HD Collection and 4 Special Edition Bundle. Now, these games show their age. The original 3 Devil May Cry games are from like the mid-2000s, early 2000s. DMC4 is from 2008. So all 4 of these games absolutely show their age. You are not getting DMC5 style here. DMC5 came out in like 2019, 11 years after DMC4. So, you know, the games are still quality action titles, but they do show their age. There's some wonky camera angles, there's some redundant content, but overall, I think people will enjoy these games. If you're a fan of hack and slashers, you'll enjoy it, and a lot of people are super into the DMC narrative. I am not as much, but, you know, I seem to be in the minority as far as that takes, so keep that in mind. $14.84 for all of the games I think is pretty good. DMC2 generally, like, pretty hated upon, but, you know, it is what it is. I didn't think the game was terrible, but I understand why people think it's the weakest of the original 3 titles. Next up, we have Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Look, I'm going to be a nostalgic shill when it comes to Spyro and the original 3 games. I grew up with a PlayStation 1, and Spyro was one of the first games that I ever played, at least on console. I had a Game Boy Color back in the day, but, you know, Spyro was one of the first franchises. This and Mega Man, so if you ever see me being partial towards those franchises, you know why. But Spyro's fantastic, and generally speaking, everybody really dug the Reignited Trilogy. It was redoing the original 3 games with updated visuals, and these are still accessible. If nostalgia is not playing a part for you at all, I still think you're going to enjoy it. Hell, I was not big into Crash Bandicoot when I was a kid, but the Insane Trilogy for that I really enjoyed, because it was just a well-done remake of those games. Same can be said for Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Obviously, the nostalgia element does elevate your enjoyment of these games, and maybe, you know, you'll look past some of the shortcomings, but I think anybody can really get into them. $14 for 3 games, not super lengthy games, but still great games nonetheless, and I think this is a pretty darn good buy. Next up, Assassin's Creed Odyssey Gold Edition. Now, you guys know me and how I feel about the newer Assassin's Creed games. However, whenever I see Odyssey Gold Edition, I kind of, like, I feel like it's worth a recommendation, because you're paying $19.99, you're getting Odyssey, you're getting the Season Pass, you're getting all that bonus content, and it's already a game with a disgusting amount of content. But also on top of all that, you're getting Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered and AC Liberation. I wasn't crazy about AC3, I enjoyed it, and I completed it literally like within weeks of it coming out, and I still had a good time with it, way back in 2012, I want to say it came out in? Yeah, 2012. I didn't find Connor as compelling as some of the other Assassin's Creed main characters, but his story was decently done. It's just, you know, when I compare him to Ezio or Edward, you know, he's still engaging, but not as great as some of the other characters. Liberation was a PS Vita game, so you gotta keep your expectations in line when it comes to Liberation. It's an okay game, but it's not up to par with a lot of the other Assassin's Creed games. Where I would say AC3, that's a game a lot of people still really did enjoy, and I still really enjoyed it. It's just, I think, coming off of the AC2 trilogy, AC3 was a little bit of a fall-off, and, you know, being sandwiched between the AC2 trilogy and AC4, AC3, in my opinion, is the weaker across those games, but it's still pretty darn good, and you're just getting it with the Gold Edition of Odyssey. That's a pretty good value deal, in my opinion, so I would say check that out. Next up, Persona Dancing Endless Night Collection. I feel like I don't recommend this enough, but maybe because it doesn't get at this good of a price range, it's 70% off for $16.49. Not only do you get Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight, you also get Persona 4 Dancing All Night. I believe that was the first Persona dancing game, and they just included it in this bundle, and that was the only way to get it. But yeah, you should get this because they're selling Dancing in Starlight standalone, but it's $9. You should just pay $16.49 and get all 3 games, and that's a great value deal. It's Persona in the form of a music rhythm game, and Persona music is pretty darn good, so $16.49 for 3 quality music rhythm games, value-wise, seems like a great deal to me. Next up, Immortals Fenyx Rising Gold Edition. 80% off for $19.99. Now, I wasn't as crazy about this game as a lot of other people. I enjoyed it, I liked it, I thought some of the comedy completely fell flat. I wasn't crazy about the art style, but from a gameplay standpoint, I thought it had quite a bit of depth to it, and it was an enjoyable, colorful adventure, you know? And for $19.99, you're getting the base game, you're getting the Season Pass with a bunch of extra bonus content. I believe they're doing a sequel for this game. I don't know that to be completely 100% confirmed, but yeah, it seemed like people did enjoy this game. I just remember this game came out and much like a lot of other Ubisoft games, like hit the bargain bin really, really quickly. But yeah, if you've been waiting on checking it out, $19.99 for the game and all that bonus content, I think that's a pretty darn good deal. So check that out if you're looking for more of a colorful open world title. And lastly, KLONOA Fantasy Reverie series is 50% off for $19.99. Now, I didn't have much of an attachment towards KLONOA growing up, but the Fantasy Reverie series is a phenomenally done rendition of these games and remakes of these games. And if you're remotely into platformer, this is a fantastic, fantastic collection that includes both KLONOA Door to Phantom Isle as well as KLONOA 2 Lunatea's Veil, remastered and done pretty darn well. $39.99 is like, yeah, that's pricey for a collection, but at $19.99, if you're into platformers, I think you'll really enjoy this. And one of those games that kind of got lost in the shuffle last year, but KLONOA's kind of had a history of that, where a lot of the KLONOA titles, unfortunately, just commercially don't do insane numbers, but I think Bandai Namco had their expectations in line with how well this game was going to do, and I think, you know, it did relatively well, all things considered. But yeah, $19.99, goodbye on that as well if you're a fan of platformers. But that's going to do it for me. Again, these two sales are wrapping up. I think we got like about 36 hours left by the time you guys are watching this video. So jump on these deals as soon as possible if you're interested. If not, there's going to be 8 billion other deals that are going to be available soon. Days of Play is coming up. I think a lot of people are forgetting about that, but yeah, a lot of stuff is going to be coming up, especially next month with the events, with Days of Play. A lot of quality stuff to be looking forward to, and all the game releases. So that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.